Ma Beppe, ti dico la verità, spero di no, nel senso che comunque a me piace chiudere.
Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, or should I say my name is Beppe? I don't know, because apparently, as you heard in the intro, Manuel Locatelli decided to call me Beppe. Guys, we do the recap of the fantastic live I had on Juventus Twitch with Manuel Locatelli. I tried to read the questions that you were asking in English, unfortunately. We had 30 minutes, we stayed with him 40 minutes, so way over time, and not always it was easy for me to take the time to ask the question in English. I tried one or twice, but not really the time to translate. So I'm taking that moment to translate you because I want to start saying one thing. Thank you to Manuel Locatelli, that was a fantastic person to have live. Seriously, the guy, he played a fantastic game yesterday. We won. They traveled from Milano to Torino in the middle of the night. They arrived there. He has a little boy since a few weeks. He's in an off day because today the players are off, and he accepted and decided to be there because he wanted to share a moment with the fans, with Juventini, taking a moment to answer the question from the chat. If this is not something that we can praise, I don't know what we can praise. Now I will try to translate as best as I can the most important parts. If you want to, the live is at your disposal on Juventus Twitch. The link will be in the description. It is in Italian so that you can see the mimics, the gestures of Locatelli. Anyway, we start seeing that not my colleague Leandro and not me, we didn't sleep a lot after the game, after the emotions of winning that derby. He said, guys, I tell you the truth, the same for me. I didn't sleep a lot, and it happened a lot of time when we are playing the late night games in another city where we are traveling at home. We don't sleep a lot, but it was a beautiful game and it was a beautiful win, and especially winning in their home, playing like that, made it even better, even more fantastic. He was super happy. I asked him also, I said congratulations for his son Theo, and I asked him, in a few years, how will you explain, how will you tell that game of yesterday? He said, first of all, I hope he will be a sporting person. I hope he will love sport and he will be interested in what his father did in his career. I hope that one day he will be interested in hearing my stories. And that's beautiful, you know, the link, and already thinking about hoping that my son will be proud of what I'm doing, showing of course the human side, the emotional side of our number 5. Of course, I asked him, will your grandmother, because she's a big Juventina, probably the biggest Juventina of the family, will she help you? And he said absolutely yes. We'll come back on the grandmother in a second. We asked him if the 2 best games he played was against Inter this season. He said, well, the one of yesterday was, speaking as a team, not only individually, but according to him, the best game of the season. How they played, but also his best game, because he found immediately his position on the field. He didn't need to adapt to understand or study the other one, because immediately from minute 1, he knew what to do. I asked him about the continuity. Is it helping to play with a Rabiot, with a Fagioli, always the same in a midfield? As I was explaining you this morning in the video, he said, well, of course it is helping. La continuità è il segreto di ogni stagione positiva. He said the continuity is always the secret of a positive season. Again, speaking about that midfield, well, he said whoever is playing, it's not only because the 3 of us, Fagioli, Rabiot and myself, but whoever is playing now and entering, he knows what to do and they are doing really well. Because we found that unity, we are united, all of us, all together. Beautiful words, you know, we saw it yesterday with Landucci holding hands. Well, the team is like that as well. Asperin and Di Maria from the sideline. What about the difficulties in his career? Well, he said the one of Milan, after leaving Milan, because he was absolutely not expecting to leave Milan. He has always been a Juventino, but playing for Milan. And then he's also speaking about the goal that he scored against Juve. He said that goal, well, I was playing at Milan, and for me it was only Milan at that moment. So of course I scored and I celebrated and I was happy because the game ended 1-0. The only one in the family that was not happy was the grandmother, because she said that goal of Pjanic, that was a regular goal, should have been allowed, should have finished 1-1. So that was the nonna speaking about him, but he said it was really difficult. I was never expecting that Milan would have sold me to Sassuolo, so I had difficult time to raise up, to find again my trust and my confidence in myself. De Zerbi helped me a lot on the human side on that one. Miretti and Fagioli said, well, I always tell them to enjoy every moment of it. It's not easy to play at Juventus. and it's not easy to play at Juventus, especially when you are that young, but they are already doing so much, and they are already going above all the expectation. They are doing giant steps. What about the Juventinità? Because I asked him, your Juventinità, how important is it in the locker room to have that Juventinità and to share it? Well, speaking about grinta and so on, he said, these tackles that I'm going and they are pumping me up so much, especially when it's a successful tackle, because it's something incredible. It's pumping me up, but playing against Inter, it's easy to be pumped up. If you are not pumped up when you are playing a big game like the one of yesterday against Inter, then that means that you have absolutely no idea about football. It's better that you stop with football because you didn't understand anything about it. So being pumped up, that grinta that he is showing and putting in that sliding tackles is a characteristic that he loves. Speaking about grinta, I couldn't not speak about Federico Gatti, the impersonation of grinta. I said, what about Gatti? He said, well, first of all, I call him Gattone. He said Gattone. What does that mean? Not Gattino, that is a small cat. He's calling me a Gattone, a big cat. And that's from now on the new name, the new nickname of Federico Gatti is Gattone. Well, he said about the Gattone that he has too much energy, and sometimes that grinta can be sometimes dangerous. In the locker room, they are always telling him, calma, calma, attenzione, be and pay attention to that level of energy. But even when he was not playing in the training session, he's giving 1000%. Every single training session is giving the max. So beautiful also the intention, the being ready of Federico Gatti, that you are playing or not, making sure that you are ready, because you can be called up at any moment. And we spoke about that also with Locatelli, about is it important to be ready? Because we went to La Nazionale, he said, I'm really disappointed. I didn't know. I was expecting, of course, to do to La Nazionale, and apparently Mancini didn't call me up. So I was, of course, sad. Something that is here. I will try to fight hard on the field to be back, because that's absolutely an objective. But then we spoke about being ready at the right time. And he remembered and reminded us that without COVID, probably he would not have participated to that Euro 2021 that should have been played one more year. He said sometimes you have to wait your turn and making sure that on the field you deserve. In 2020, probably I would not have deserved to be part of that Nazionale. In 2021, absolutely yes. And these are memories I will always keep in my mind. Coming back to Juve, we asked him about that picture on social media, on Instagram, with him and Lautaro close to each other. He said, well, I love the picture, and it was something that I really wanted to be there. But of course, everything that what is happening on the field, then it's over. I really wanted to ask him about that question. The idols from when he was a kid, well, of course, Del Piero, Buffon, Chiellini, Bonucci, Pirlo, Pavel Nedved, this crew. But then he said the name that for me was really important. He said Gianluca Pessotto. You remember Gianluca Pessotto played until 2006 with Juventus, a great player of Juventus that is now a manager in Juventus, taking care also about the youth, but he's always around there. How important is it to have these legends? Even if now a lot of people, the new kids, they don't know about Gianluca Pessotto, but having that experience is super important to transmit Juventinità. What is Juve to these young players? So Gianluca Pessotto is important, even if he is a shadow man. I really love that. What about the goal? I made a bet with him. I said that he would score or the 1st of April, or maybe that he will wait for me and he will wait until the 4th of April. So or the first game versus Verona, or the Coppa Italia game in our stadium against Inter. He said yes, because I miss the goal. I want to score. It's something that I really want to do, and it's one of my objectives to score in the next coming weeks. He said that Perin is the most funny one in the locker room, or at least for him, the one that that is the best dressed is Perin. Then we asked him, okay, can you tell us, without Perin, who is the one that you had the most friendship with? He said Pinsoglio, important for the locker room, Pinsoglio. and so on and so on. What about the number of the shirt? Important. He said, look, when I arrived at Juve, I had the number 27 because that was one that was available and I liked it. But of course, this season with a bit more choice, when the 5 was available, I jumped on it because I like these low numbers. Another one like Federico Chiesa that has the same philosophy as Beppe, low numbers from 1 to 11. These are the best in football, at least for me, guys. What is about to play at Juve? Was it always your dream? He said, yes, always. Did you believe that one day you would have played for Juve? He said, I don't know. But one thing is sure, my agent, when I was already 14 years, I said, one day together we will be at Juve. And he did. He did his dream come true, to play for Juventus with his agent. Just fantastic. Fantastic. The best goal that he scored for Juve was against Torino in that derby last year. He said also it was a beautiful because it was a perfect weekend. Scoring versus Torino with a 1-0 in the last minutes of the game the day after. Proposing to my girlfriend to become my wife. It was something incredible. He hopes that he can steal some tools from the mestiere, you know, from Miralem Pjanic, because Miralem Pjanic was one that was able to score some free kicks, but also to go with a shot from the distance and a lot of time scoring. That's something that he wants to steal from Miralem Pjanic. And then I asked him a question. In 5-6 years, not now, would you love to be a center back, or do you think that you can become a center back? Because this is something I had in my mind, and there that was probably the most funny thing of the life. He said no, he doesn't want to, because he loves also to go with the assist, you know, that last pass, or even to try to go to score some goals. So he said, look, if I have to play, I would even play as a goalkeeper, but please no, or at least not at the moment. That was really a funny moment. About his dreams, well, future dreams, trying to win already now some cups, Europa League or the Coppa Italia, trying to fight for it, and in the next coming years, Scudetto, and why not the Champions League. What about Sporting? He said it's a difficult one. We saw them playing the 2 games versus Arsenal, so we have to be ready, but we are Juventus, and nobody has to forget that. I love that one. Is there something that I forgot? If he didn't play, or if he didn't become a football player, what would he become? And he said a private detective. He loves being a private detective. He loves this kind of movie. He said, if I would not become a footballer, even if luckily I became a footballer, probably I would have gone into that way. Yeah, that was it actually. That was it. These were the questions, and I tell you, I try to recap in 12-13 minutes the interview with Locatelli. What I will remember is Beppe, he will not become a center back, so forget about it. That's one. But the human part, the fact that deciding, becoming a new young father, to say, guys, I am off today, it's my free day, but I want to be there to speak with the supporters after a day of Derby d'Italia. It's fantastic. The availability, also the backstage, that of course is the backstage. What happens in the backstage remains in the backstage. But a really super funny, nice guy available, and a real Juventino. When we ask him what is the message that you want to give to the Juventini, he said, don't forget, never forget, fino alla fine, until the end. Beautiful message. No, fantastic live, guys. Thank you. I hope this will help a bit, and that you will enjoy. Grazie, forza, Juve.